Okay, I got a brand new stage. This one is based on Mario Land 1 3, like the pyramid stage. And I have quite a lot to say about it because I kind of went nuts making this. Okay, most of the things I'm going to be talking about are like animation things I did while making this. Okay, so these piranha plants, they have yellow lips because in the concept art for Mario Land, the piranha plants have yellow lips instead of white lips. These kind of spooked me when I was going to do them because I knew as soon as I like had to bend the piranha plant's like head, all the white dots had to move as well. And since I don't have like a 3D model or something, I like had to manually try to like reposition all the art. So that was like freaking me out if I was gonna pull it off okay, but I managed to do it. These candles where I was experimenting with transparency effects. I had to do it this way, otherwise it was going to be a complete nightmare, like repainting every last pixel and every last shade and brighten them up like, 5% or 10% in the art itself, because that would have been like way too much. In the source game, there's like very few hieroglyphs. There's like maybe like 5 different types, and it's mostly the Egyptian god Thoth. But I wanted to make sure there was no god repeats, so I made about like 12 different gods hieroglyphs in the background. And I went and looked up a whole bunch of hieroglyphs online, and I replaced. They're mainly in the same locations they are in the game, but I kind of replaced them with like stand-ins that have similar kind of looking hieroglyphs, so they wouldn't be repeated so much. As for the blocks, in the game itself they have a little bit more dots, but I wanted to, vary up the pattern so it wouldn't look so uniform. So I went with less dots so I could vary the patterns more. I had to redraw a lot of these sprites that I already did for the earlier stage because I had to resize them. So I wanted everything to match up right. There's a lot of sight gags hidden in the stage if you sit around and wait. I don't want to explain all the like in-joke or the hidden jokes around the stage. I want you to find them on your own. This worried me because I had to resize all the coins, but thankfully Mugen has a built-in resizer, so I didn't have to. I really didn't want to have to redraw all those coins because that animation was pretty hard the first time around, or I was worried about it the first time around. But thankfully I could do that. Skip that. Another thing that threw me for a long time was getting this lava animation right. Now in the game itself, there's just like a very generic like flame sprite down here. So I could have maybe just gone with like a flame, burning flames that it like filled this up. But I'm pretty sure it was intended to be lava, so I never really did this before, so I was worried I was gonna fuck it up. I went to look at like Super Mario All-Stars to see what lava looked like in that game, since I was trying to keep it as old school as possible while still like redrawing it and making it nice. So I looked at like what the highest graphic version of an old Mario lava would be. So I went to Super Mario All-Stars and looked at the lava in that game to use as my reference. Now I never did this the lines moving up and down before. I was wondering if I could just make white lines move all the way to the right, but that didn't look good enough, so I went in there and put an extensive amount of work in making that all match up and look nice. This might be the most complicated stage I've done yet. The Goomba Village remake was still pretty complicated. That might still be king, but I put like 2.5 weeks of work almost like waking to sleeping on this. So I really hope you enjoy this thing and get some enjoyment out of it. That's all I have to say about this one.